Now at 5, taken for a ride. But it's not the customer getting duped, it's the driver. New details about the robberies targeting drivers, and they do not involve a weapon. And weather whiplash. We are going from spring back to winter in less than 24 hours. Storm Team 4 is tracking another round of rain, wind, and even snow. Good to have you with us. I'm Adam Cooperstein, and we're going to begin with a citywide crime spree that is targeting rideshare drivers. Those drivers are getting robbed by customers. First, police say the thieves ask to change their destination. And then they steal the driver's phone and use it to transfer money to an unknown account. 24 drivers have been robbed since July. And tonight, police are putting out new clues, hoping to crack the case. News 4's Melissa Colorado is live in Long Island City with the warning for drivers tonight. Melissa.
Adam, as you mentioned, police say this has happened at least 24 times. So the thieves, they hop into a Lyft ride, they hop into an Uber ride. Then they tell the driver, hold up, change of plans, we're going to a different address. Well, when that driver is caught off guard, that's when they snatch that person's phone. But it's not the physical phone they're after, it's the access to the driver's payment accounts. And speaking of those cameras, if you recognize the two men in those photos, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That's the latest here in Long Island City, Queens. I'm Melissa Colorado, News 4 New York.
Okay, hope this puts a stop to it. Melissa, thank you. Well, definitely feeling like spring a little bit today, right? But tomorrow, winter snaps back with another storm that's actually headed our way. And Storm Team 4's Janice Huff is here to track snow yet again, Janice, but not for everyone this time.
That's right, Adam. Most of us will see just all rain. And with temperatures like this, yes, it's more likely that most of us will see that. And we have readings in the 50s right now, as promised, from the city all the way down to Philadelphia, where it's near 60 degrees. Now, the ground is very warm, so accumulating snow will have to come hard, fast, and long. And that's mainly north and west of the city. Brief mixing in the city, but it's going to be mostly rain for Midtown and all the boroughs and the coastal areas too. Here's some of that moisture. Severe weather breaking out over North Texas. A lot of that moisture streaming in our direction. You can see the big temperature contrast here from 43 in Kansas City to 81 degrees in Dallas, and that's why they're getting that severe weather. And flooding possible too through the mid-Mississippi River Valley and the Ohio Valley. We'll have flooding around here. Coastal flooding will be one big deal. Also, most of the advisories for snow are well north of our area and really almost out of the region. So if you're traveling north towards Albany and the Berkshires and up towards other parts of upstate New York and New England, there'll be quite a bit of snow with winter storm warnings in effect. We'll keep tracking the weather coming our way in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Okay, Janice, see you then. Right now, police in Paterson, New Jersey are looking for two people who may be connected to a shooting that injured a state trooper. Those shots were fired just before 1 this morning. That trooper was hit in the leg while sitting in his patrol car. New Jersey State Police were working on an assignment with Paterson Police at the time, but will not give details about what it was. One person is already in custody, and the mayor of Paterson had this to say about the shooting.
This is brazen. This is unfortunately the warped world we live in, where people are shooting at cops. So I want to let those know that perpetrated this act, we're going to get you.
That injured state trooper is still in the hospital right now, but he is expected to be okay. A man in Pennsylvania reportedly tried to sneak explosives on a flight from Allentown to Orlando. According to court documents filed today, Mark Muffley confessed to packing highly combustible materials, fuses, and a detonating device in the lining of a suitcase that he checked on Monday morning at Lehigh Valley International Airport. When TSA screened the bag, it set off alarms. Prosecutors say this surveillance photo shows Muffley leaving the airport just after being paged to go to the security office. This afternoon, a federal judge ordered him held without bail, calling Muffley a danger to the community. Jury deliberations have started in the high-profile trial of Alec Murdaugh, who is shootings of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. The defense got their last chance to address the jury today. They claim that the investigation was sloppy and that there were alternate theories to the crime, including speculation that someone might have been seeking revenge for a deadly boat crash caused by Paul. Prosecutors in their rebuttal told jurors that they should stop Murdaugh's lying with their verdict.
Why? The state cannot provide an answer to this question because the answer is he would not, under any circumstances, murder. those that meant the most to him.
It was lied and lied and lied and lied. And it's been okay. It got you through. It stops here.
The final day of closing arguments started with a bit of a hiccup. A juror had to be removed for having improper discussions outside the courtroom. That juror was ultimately replaced with an alternate. Well, the Justice Department says police officers who tried to fight off rioters at the Capitol siege can sue former President Trump. That opinion coming from attorneys in the DOJ's civil division, and according to an appellate court filing in D.C., they say the presidency does not give Trump absolute immunity from civil lawsuits filed by police officers or members of Congress. However, the DOJ filing does not say whether he should be held liable, civilly or criminally, for causing the riot. A lower court judge has already rejected President Trump's immunity claim. This is new at 5. Bombshell allegations going back and forth in a nasty legal battle between a black trial attorney and the firm that hired her. That firm says she is guilty of quiet quitting, among other things, doing little while collecting her paycheck. But she says she's the victim of retaliation for bringing up racial discrimination and bullying at a firm that prides itself on defending civil rights. The I-Team's Paisley Cheng has the story. This right here was the scene today on Staten Island, where a member of the FDNY was released from the hospital. With the help of crutches, firefighter Michael Guidera of Ladder Company 84 walked out of Staten Island University Hospital with his wife and his 2 children by his side. Guidera was one of 3 firefighters seriously hurt, battling a fire 2 weeks ago at a duplex in Arden Heights. 19 other firefighters suffered minor injuries. Thankfully, they're all expected to make a full recovery. Great to see that. Well, it's an exciting day for Rangers fans. Their star player who just joined the team, Patrick Kane, making his debut at the Garden tonight. And News 4's Bruce Beck is live at MSG, where the puck drops in less than 2 hours. Bruce?
Adam, Patrick Kane is here now tonight. The New York Rangers have added another superstar to their lineup. And the former MVP of the regular season and MVP of the Stanley Cup playoffs couldn't be more energized.
Yes, it is. And we can't wait to see him skate at the Garden. Bruce, thank you so much. And up next at 5, Mayor Adams pushing back on a controversy.
As the mayor, I should be talking about my belief in God, because I'm calling for all of us to do something I believe we need to do. It's time to pray.
A defiant Mayor Adams tries to set the record straight when it comes to his thoughts on the separation of church and state. What he told our Melissa Russo today, and what the mayor did that caught reporters off guard. Plus, rising to the top. First, he beat cancer. Then, he climbed the tallest mountain in the world. But this father from Connecticut didn't do it alone. And a special find 40 years in the making. The unexpected treasure a woman found hiding at an estate sale, and why she says it belonged to her.
Don't tell me about no separation of church and state. State is the body, church is the heart. You take the heart out of the body dies.
Those comments from Mayor Adams sparked a heated debate this week over his views on the Constitution. The mayor appearing to suggest that there shouldn't be a separation between church and state. And today, Eric Adams doubled down and talked about the important role of religion and why he thinks all New Yorkers can benefit from finding faith. News 4 Government Affairs reporter Melissa Russo was there at City Hall today when the mayor also suddenly broke into prayer in front of the media. Melissa.
Well, Adam, he was sort of half kidding about that, and in just a moment you'll see why. But some people were really alarmed by those comments that Mayor Adams made earlier this week. Today at City Hall, he said he's not trying to convert anybody to religion or put prayer back into New York City public schools. But he did imply that he and the city could do more to promote prayer.
Okay, Melissa Russo with the latest on the controversy surrounding Mayor Adams. Thank you, Melissa. And let's turn to Storm Team 4's Janice Huff now, because this is confusing. It feels like spring today, and then big changes coming.
Meteorological spring began yesterday, so this is sort of right on time, even though these temperatures are way above average. 50s and 60s today, and we're talking about more winter weather tomorrow. Oh, yes, that's how it rolls around here. Live look at Earth Cam from New York Harbor. Look at that view. We can see some of those cirrus clouds rolling through, and those clouds will get thicker the rest of the night. Eventually, tomorrow, we'll get some rain clouds in here and some snow clouds, too. That's what some of us will see. Right now, though, it's quiet. The temperature is 53 degrees. The dew point's 27. The air is very dry. It'll stay clear, at least with just a few clouds, most of the rest of this evening. And the temperature is in the 40s. Right now, we've got 52 in Merritt, Islip 51, same in Sussex. You're 40 in Monticello, 55 in Trenton, and 40s out towards Montauk. We have an offshore wind right now coming in out of the northwest. Some pretty good gusts near 40 miles per hour in White Plains. But these gusts are going to be significant for coastal flooding tomorrow. They'll be coming onshore instead of offshore, pushing that water up on the beach areas and back bays. So coastal flooding is likely as the storm develops. Widespread minor to moderate flooding up to 2.5 feet for parts of Long Island and the Jersey Shore, and then some minor coastal flooding in and around the boroughs and back bays here of up to 1.5 feet. So areas where the roads get washed over, watch out. That's going to happen even up to coastal Connecticut as well. Clouds and radar, well, we do have some clouds out there right now, but nothing significant in terms of any rain in our area yet. That's all off to the south and west. Moving in from Texas, the Gulf Coast, down through the southern states, they're seeing rain. Severe weather in Texas right now. The planner goes for dry skies until about 5 o'clock. That's when things start to change. And there is a flood threat possible for parts of the area, New Jersey, the boroughs, as well as Long Island because of all the heavy rain. And in terms of snow, you got to go north of I-84 for 3 to 5 and then 5 to 8. So it gets higher and higher as you go up towards the Albany region. 35 degrees for tonight. Our low temperature. The weather's still quiet. It's not until tomorrow afternoon that we get the rain in the city and that mix of snow and ice to the north. After morning showers on Saturday, it clears out. We're back to 50 degrees on Sunday, Adam. Back to you.
Wow. Okay, Janice, thank you. Now picture this. You are looking at an estate sale page online, and then you see a portrait that looks eerily familiar. A woman from Indiana says that's exactly what happened to her, but it just didn't look like her. Cheryl Bell says the woman in the portrait was her, except it was 40 years ago in the portrait. She says she does not know the man who owned it, though, before he died.
I think it was probably done from a photo, but honestly, I remember getting it and I remember thinking, I don't know if that really looks like me.
Bell says she thinks she originally gave that portrait to a boyfriend, but not to the man who died. The woman who was running the estate sale allowed her, though, to buy the portrait before the actual sale took place. Up next, scaling new heights. The man from Connecticut who just climbed the top of Mount Everest, and he did it just months after beating cancer. And ahead at 5:30, a new discovery inside Egypt's Great Pyramid, hidden for thousands of years. What it reveals about the ancient wonder of the world.
You can't deny the facts.
There can only be one local team that is the most accurate.
Yep, it's us, and it's certified by Weather Rate.
There can only be one team that is the biggest.
That's right, 10 weather experts, all working to keep you and your family safe.
There's only one team that gives you forecasts in 2 languages.
NBC4 in English and Telemundo 47 in Spanish.
The biggest team delivering the most accurate forecasts.
Because it makes all our lives easier.
No one else in the tri-state can say all that. News 4 New York and Telemundo 47.
A man from Connecticut is proving there is nothing he can't achieve, whether it's hiking the world's tallest mountain or defeating cancer. J.P. Keeley found out he had multiple myeloma in 2014. And at the time of the diagnosis, he was just 48 years old. Multiple myeloma is a rare cancer. It starts in the white blood cells. And ever since his diagnosis, Keeley has had a series of treatments, including a stem cell transplant. And just 11 months after that transplant, Keeley and his wife climbed Mount Everest alongside other survivors and caregivers.
But just being with everybody there, the support that we gave each other, and it was just incredible.
The support has been overwhelming. The people we've hiked mountains with now are considered family.
In September, the Keeleys are headed to Tanzania to take on Mount Kilimanjaro. The word legend doesn't fully describe jazz musician and son of Newark, Wayne Shorter, and today we lost him. That is Shorter playing the saxophone with friends and fellow musician Miles Davis. Shorter went to Newark Arts High School. He later played in big bands, and he got the nickname the Newark Flash because he would dash between Newark and Manhattan for gigs. He came to prominence with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Wayne Shorter was 89 years old. Coming up, an arrest in a shocking murder in Queens. The man seen here, disguised in traditional Hasidic attire, apparently used it to sneak up on someone and kill them in broad daylight. A year and a half later, police say they've got their man. Plus, an unbelievable rescue in Turkey. A special survivor is found after being buried in the rubble for 23 days after that massive earthquake. Now at 5:30, a killer in disguise is now in custody, and he's facing murder charges for an execution-style killing in Queens. And all of it caught on surveillance camera in September of 2021. That gunman, police say, dressed up to look like a Hasidic Jew and was apparently waiting for his victim to show up. And when he did, you saw him run across the street and shoot him in the back of the head. That suspect then ran back to his car and took off. And News 4's Adam Harding is live at the police precinct in Ozone Park with details on this arrest that was a long time coming, Adam.
Right, and it was about a year and a half ago. That surveillance video is so hard to forget because it is just so simply shocking. For over a year, investigators have been searching for a suspect. Tonight, they announced they have made an arrest. And Adam, we understand tonight that investigators were able to find this suspect at an apartment in Teaneck, New Jersey earlier this week. They coordinated with the NYPD as part of this investigation, bringing him here into the city. Tonight, we have learned on top of the murder charge that this 53-year-old suspect tonight is facing, he has also been charged, police say, with criminal possession of a weapon. Again, now here in this city under arrest. We're live in Ozone Park. I'm Adam Harding, News 4, New York.
Okay, Adam, thank you. In Connecticut today, the brothers of a Columbia graduate who was killed while visiting Israel and on the West Bank described him as someone who valued knowledge and wanted to help people. Gabe and Simon Ganelis just got back from Israel after attending Elon Ganelis' funeral. They say Elon was driving to a friend's house to get ready for a wedding, and that is when he was shot and killed on a highway near Jericho. Gabe Ganelis studies at an Israeli university. He says Elon had just dropped him off at school before that deadly shooting.
I had gotten back to my apartment when my parents called me and told me that something terrible had happened.
Israeli authorities say 3 Palestinians have been arrested for that attack. They say a 4th suspect was shot and killed after a raid at a refugee camp on the West Bank. Elon Ganelis was laid to rest in Israel yesterday. He was 26 years old. We now know that rapper Travis Scott is planning to turn himself into police next week, according to NYPD sources. Scott's accused of punching a sound engineer in the head and damaging his equipment inside a Manhattan nightclub early yesterday morning. The rapper is now back in California. His lawyers are negotiating his return, though, to New York City. Well, it's been another mild afternoon, but another winter storm is coming our way tomorrow, and Storm Team 4's Janice Huff is here to help us get ready for it. Hey, Janice.
Hi there. It's hard to believe, though, when you look at this sky and see the temperatures are still in the 50s right now, but that's where we are. 52 degrees at LaGuardia with a northwest wind. That's a dry direction. So the air is very dry. The dew points are low. No moisture in the air yet, but it'll be increasing. For the rest of tonight, you have no worries from the weather. It stays quiet. A few clouds roll in. That's it. Temperatures in the city will drop off into the 30s. That's where we'll start out in the morning. But the center of all of this mess is moving over Texas and the Southwest right now. They've got severe weather across much of Texas at this hour. We won't see that, but we will get a combination of rain, sleet, and snow. For the northern counties, they will get snow. That's where you'll see the accumulating snow. When we get to the city, central New Jersey, through Fairfield and Westchester counties, it's going to be a bit of a mix and then changing over to rain. And then it's all rain right along the coast, likely 1 to 2 inches, gusty winds and coastal flooding possible, as well as inland flooding from the heavy rain. So we'll time all of that out as it's coming our way, plus the 10-day forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Janice, thank you. In northern Greece, rescue crews are still at the site of that deadly train crash from yesterday. They're sifting through the wreckage of 2 trains that slammed into each other head on. At least 43 people died in the accident. Dozens of victims are still in the hospital, and Greece's prime minister said a tragic human error may have caused that crash, but he did not elaborate on that. Coming up, wasn't a nurses' strike just resolved? It's a good question, right? So what is this rally here all about? The new set of nurses that could go on strike. We will show you where and why.
Project HEAL started just a couple of years ago, trying to get victims of violence back into society. A report card on how they're doing coming up. I'm Brian Thompson with that story.
Your day doesn't stop at 7 p.m., and neither does News 4.
Get stories from across the tri-state at a time that works for you.
Breaking news in New York's most accurate forecast, live at 7 p.m. News 4 New York, weeknights at 7.
I'm a traffic geek.
Traffic reporter Adele Caballero.
Traffic reporting in the tri-state area is such a rush, and now I get to be a part of this team. I'm a human GPS. I can't help it.
Adele Caballero, part of the all-local team, only on Today in New York. Stream News 4 when you want. Learn how at NBCNewYork.com/stream.
There's an effort to create normal lives for victims of shootings and other violence, and it's finding some traction on the Jersey Shore, and an infusion of cash that promises it could go statewide and beyond. New Jersey reporter Brian Thompson talked with one victim about turning her life around. Today, Mayor Adams unveiled an ambitious new plan to expand mental health services here in the city. It includes telehealth and suicide prevention programs for New York City high school students. The city also wants to reduce overdose deaths by 15% the next 2 years. And New Yorkers with serious mental illness will soon have better access to specialty care and to housing options. The city's health commissioner fought back tears today, saying mental health is close to his heart after losing his own uncle to suicide.
I became a doctor to be a healer. And one of the best things we can do to help New Yorkers heal is to openly and unambiguously focus on mental health.
The entire plan is available online at nyc.gov/mental health. And still ahead, inspiring high school students to get a higher education.
I'm Linda Beccaro at Stanford High School, where students are participating in a unique competition designed to learn about and explore opportunities at HBCUs.
Closed captioning provided by Toyota. Let's go places.
Contracts for nurses at 11 city-run hospitals are expiring today, and one of those hospitals is Lincoln Hospital in the South Bronx, and that is where nurses rallied, demanding that their pay matches what nurses at private hospitals are getting. Last month, private sector nurses reached contracts that improved staffing and included a nearly 20% pay increase. That raise has left public hospital nurses wanting to close the gap.
Our contract has a clause to provide us pay parity with the private sector. It's time to put it into effect. It is time to respect public sector nurses and our patients.
Right now, the pay gap for newly graduated nurses between public and private hospitals is more than $19,000 a year. In Connecticut, students at Stanford High School are participating in a unique art contest. It encourages them to consider continuing their education at colleges they may not have considered before. News 4's Linda Beccaro shows us how it works. All right, Storm Team 4's Janice Huff is with us, and it's this weather whiplash we've got.
Which way? What?
Yeah.
What? Spring, winter, who?
we have to stay tuned to Storm Team 4 to keep up with this.
Just get ready for the next storm. And most of us are going to get rain from it, but it could be a lot of rain, too. Let's take a check outside right now. This is the view from Coney Island's pier, and you can see the weather's so nice. Everybody's getting out and about, taking a nice stroll. Temperatures are still in the 50s in most areas. And today's highs, 54 in Central Park, 57 at Newark. You're in the 50s in Islip and Bridgeport, too, and Poughkeepsie checking in at 54 degrees this afternoon. A beautiful spring day for us. Coastal impacts will be major this time. Water up to 2.5 feet above ground level at high tide early Saturday morning. Onshore winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour. We're talking about beach erosion and coastal roads possibly being closed. But tonight it is quiet. 35 degrees for the low. Tomorrow 45, quiet the first half of the day, and then the mess comes in for the afternoon and evening commute. Things get a little messy then, but as we dry out over the weekend, we see 50-degree temperatures Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Adam, back to you.
Okay, Janice, thank you. And coming up, the migrant crisis is spreading across New York State. Rockland County officials say an influx of migrants straining local schools, food pantries, and housing, and they need some help. But that has at least one group asking, why won't they let us try to help?
Natalie Pasquarella coming up next at 6 tonight. What will no longer be required to get into Columbia University, and it's never been done before. Plus, do you have an e-bike with a lithium-ion battery? Well, if you don't know yet, they're to blame for a lot of fires in the city. So now there are new rules when it comes to using them. Also, cleanup underway right now in New Jersey after what you're seeing right there, that huge tree that falls right onto the house. We have those stories and a lot more ahead when Chuck Scarborough and I see you at 6.
In Rockland County, there is a new call for help after a recent surge of asylum seekers coming to the area. County leaders say they need federal funding to support the migrants. News 4's Gabi Acevedo has the story. Well, today is Read Across America Day. It's an annual event designed to encourage kids to read. But in Middle Township, there's a school bus driver who does that year-round. When Herman Cruz isn't taking kids to and from school, he's inside the classroom donating his time to help them read. And he told the Today Show's Jenna Bush Hager what it's like to give the gift of literacy.
When Mr. Herman comes to my class, I smile. I want to be smart like him. He helps me learn new words. He is my best friend ever.
It's like unlocking a door. I can see the lights on in their eyes. I love them. I love the kids.
Isn't he incredible? Herman says he started helping the kids after overhearing a student tell a teacher that he didn't get his reading assignment done. So he volunteered to help, and from there, it just grew. And now he meets 3 days a week with kindergartners, first graders, and second graders. What an amazing job. Such a great example. Thank you so much for watching, and stay with us as the news continues.